about what we do, but naturally, you could put a bunch of things into words, but what does that actually look like? So I'm going to take you through kind of a lot of things, show you some pictures about what this means and how we go about kind of, empowering the students to become the leaders of tomorrow, the practical and theoretical knowledge and kind of all that we do. Why? Oh, there we go. So a big thing we do, resume workshops, internships and jobs. So a lot of the students, we are students, we're going to college not only to learn, but to get a job in the field. So especially in the fall, we emphasize very hard resume workshops, federal resumes. If you've never filled one out, they are a lot different than kind of your normal resumes. So we work hard to make sure that not only students have a resume that looks good, but going over what they should put on it, not put on it. We help them develop their resumes through various activities, some of which I'll go into here in a little bit. Internships, we work, the school has the NRCDP program, which is an internship through the NRCS. The NRCS has Pathways internships, and Pathways internships, you have the internship, you work for 2 summers, and when you graduate, you're placed in a permanent position. So starting as early as sophomore year, you can know you're gonna have a job when you graduate college. And the NRCS, Bureau of Land Management and Forest Service all have these types of internships, as well as we want to make sure our students get jobs. So we'll send them job postings and other things. But this is a big emphasis of ours because, we want to make sure that we're helping the things that we do for our student members are helping them to get jobs in the future, and that able to build up those resumes, get those internships, get those jobs. There we go. So another thing we do is we bring in researchers, we bring in professionals to talk to our students to help them learn. The photo on the left is from an event that was held at the College Ranch, which is a ranch owned by NMSU just north of town, where we learned about all kinds of things ranging from animal science things, soil science things, plant science things. And we learned about really state-of-the-art cutting edge research, some of which was still in the process of being published, and really state-of-the-art stuff. As well as we have professors and people come in and talk to the students about topics that are interesting to the students. So naturally, as the students come in and age out, you'll have various interests that come in. So a student, you don't want to learn the same thing freshman year, junior year, sophomore year, etc. So we have various professors come in and learn about different topics. Some years we focus on soil more, some year we focus on plants more, some year on animals more. It really depends on what our students are kind of wanting to learn. But over the course of the 4 years that they're 4 or 5 years that they're here, we really cover a broad range of topics, and it's really a great opportunity and an honor to work with some of the people that we get to work with and we get to learn from. Plant ID and monitoring, rangelands. This is a very, very, very huge thing that we do. It's very important, I know, in work to be able to identify stuff. So we do, like I said, there's the plant ID team, which Mickey will talk about later. But we also just do other things with plants and plant related things later in this semester. I think we're going to work with plant pressing workshop, how to do that, collect plants for mounting on herbarium specimens and stuff like that. We've gone out and done monitoring. We did a monitoring workshop last semester where we went out and we learned, we ran some lines, we collected information on the plants, what was there, and how to do that in the field. So in the future, in jobs, once again, we know how to collect this data, how to analyze this data, and how to look at it. And again, this is all very hands-on stuff. We're out in the field, we're out in the dirt, and it's a lot of fun. So soils are a huge part of rangeland stuff. So we do learn a lot about soils. We'll look at soil pits. On the left is a soil core. Sometimes we just bring people in and we talk about soils, but this is another one where, quite literally you're getting dirty here, sometimes digging in the soils, making soil balls. But this is something that, you can't have plants if you don't have soil. I guess you can have plants if you don't have soils, if you do some air plants or some other ones. But most plants require soils, and so soils are very important. So this is something that we also emphasize. Another thing that we learn about, GIS and drone imaging. So this is kind of where the future of our field is headed, really, is GIS and drone imaging. The amount of data that we're be able to collect via drone these days, down to 1 centimeter resolution of the plants, and it really is impressive. And so we want to make sure that our students have this knowledge. And we actually were, in our previous meeting, we were working with Dr. Santiago about QGIS, which is an open source GIS software, as well as where to get some of the kind of this Landsat satellite imaging data, how to look at it, how to analyze it for plants. And so you can tell, it's pretty crazy. They take these pictures with satellites, you go in with some of the software, and from almost this elevation, you can, just by the colors and the UV light that they're giving off, analyze specifically for that, and you can tell which areas are shrubs, which areas are grasslands, which areas are trees. It really is really cool technology. And like I said, this is kind of going forward what things are leading to. So we really kind of are trying to get more and more of this taught because it is going to be very important. So another big thing that we do is we attend national and state conferences. Like I said, the Society for Range Management is our parent society. So they host a national meeting, as well as the state section hosts a state meeting. This year, actually, the New Mexico co-hosted the national conference with Arizona. It was in Albuquerque in February. And so this is a great opportunity for students. We go, we learn. There's 4 days of talks from experts from all over the country that are coming to talk, and they're learning. They also have a lot of stuff for students. This is where the plant ID competition is held, which is what the plant ID team competes at. It is, I'll say that for Mickey. I'll let her explain that when she gets there. But we also have the undergraduate range management exam, which is a comprehensive test about range management, ranging from things to plants, soils, animals, a lot of calculations, math. And it is a contest. And then the top 10% of the students, they have to complete 5 years of work, but then at that point, they're eligible for a certified range professional from the Society of Range Management. But these events are a lot of fun. Previous years, they've been in Minneapolis, Denver. Next year's going to be in Boise. State events, we really enjoy coming to the state events because these are the people that we work with here in New Mexico. So sometimes they're professors, sometimes they're people that work at the various NMSU facilities across the state. And it's really great opportunities in both of these to network, to meet new people, to learn a lot of things, as well as we usually set up a booth, as you can see in the photo, talking about the various stuff. We have some shirts and stuff. And so it's a really good opportunity for club members. And we have a lot of fun at these. We also try to do a lot of hikes, field trips. We try at least once a month to get out and do something outside. Naturally, on all these, we do plant ID. We do kind of some soil stuff on all of these when we're going out. The one on the left, we naturally go up the hike to Dripping Springs. The one on the right was an excellent opportunity. We were able to go to, it was a field day held at the Corona Ranch in Corona, New Mexico, which is another NMSU owned ranch. And in that area, they're putting in a very large wind farm. And we were able to go with the owners of the wind farm, the people that manage it, build it, on a tour of the wind farm. They explained a lot of stuff, the environmental aspects of it, how they do things, how they reclaim it. And it really was a very, very fun opportunity that we got to go do. I mean, we literally were able to, go right up to the windmills and touch them. And they look big when you're driving by, but when you're standing right underneath them, they're even larger. But that was an excellent opportunity, something that you normally not are going to be able to do. Just go and learn about the windmills from the people that build them. Yeah, those tubes are big enough they can drive a school bus down the middle. So they're really cool. So we try and get out and do this hiking field trips. We'd like to. There's talks hopefully in the fall, putting together a camp trip, go spend the night. So we really try and get out and spend as much time outside as we can to various stuff. Visiting local museums. The Farm and Ranch Museum is a great museum here in Las Cruces. This was one of our activities last March. Yeah, March. Get my months here confused. We just went with the club and we spent a day learning about the farming and ranching history of New Mexico. It was a really good time. We learned a lot. It's an excellent museum. If you haven't been, I highly recommend it. So it's really fun being able as a club to go to some of these museums that maybe, by yourself, you might not go to. As well as ACES college events, we are part of the College of Agriculture, and they hold events both in the fall and spring. This is from the Spring Cup. There are various activities. They held a cornhole competition, an egg throw, a sack race, wheelbarrow race. These are just kind of fun. They call them the ACES Olympics, kind of, fun activities. We actually took first place in the egg toss. I think third place in cornhole, and it was a lot of fun. These are a lot of really good activities to interact with other clubs and just be a part of the community as a whole. And we have a lot of fun of these. Last semester, they had dodgeball and talent show. Some of the times the talent shows get ridiculous. One year we were assigned decades theme, and it was the 70s theme. So I was up there lip syncing to some various 70s songs and various 70s clothing, and I'm told it was entertaining. I didn't, I imagine I look pretty funny, so I'm probably entertaining. But we have a lot of fun at these events, and it's cool to get the college, get involved with all the college stuff. Another big one that we do is student leadership. Our club is, we have some great advisors, but our club is student ran. We have a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and 2 ACES representatives. And that group of people really is who kind of navigates the direction of the club, where they go, what they do for the year. They get the input of the students. And like I said, we got some great advisors, but it really is club ran. What are we doing? And I've been lucky. I've had a really, really good group of people that I've worked with. Unfortunately, we didn't have a picture of the upcoming, this is the previous 2 years, officers. I don't have a picture of the incoming officers, but they are, Kelsey will be our president, Mickey will be vice president, secretary will be Ezekiel, treasurer will be Luke, and then our 2 ACES representatives, Isaac, and I think Cody, I believe. I'm drawing a blank. I apologize for that, but it really is getting an opportunity to have these student leadership positions is a really good opportunity. It looks really good on resumes. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that we do builds up resume stuff. Some of the stuff that we've done in the past, we've gone and helped with the wolves on the Turner Ranch not Turner, it's the Ladder Ranch, but it's owned by Ted Turner. We got to help with the Mexican gray wolves. The monitoring is good for resumes, but the leadership really is good. And as president, you have a seat on the board for the state section meeting. So it's a really good opportunity in that position to learn from other leadership. And most of all, we just try and have fun. We try and get as much learning as we can, resume building stuff done as we can. But in the end, we're a group of people, a group of kids, students that we just like being outside. We like nature. We like the science aspect of it. Like I said, some of us aren't range majors. We are the range club, but you don't have to be a range major to do any of this. And we just try and get out and have fun. So yeah, that's what we do as range club, kind of a broad, short little slideshow about what we do. And I hope it explained kind of what we do. I was gonna say, did we want to do, I don't know if anybody had any questions, but I can let Mickey do her presentation and then we can do any questions at the end, because I know the plant ID team, there's some stuff there. So yeah, I don't know what works best for y'all.
That sounds like a good plan there, Daniel. Go ahead.
Right. Cool. So I will turn it over to Mickey. I actually have the PowerPoint on my computer, but Mickey will be presenting it. So just tell me when you would like me to switch slides. Switch slides, Mickey.
Okay.
What screen?
Yeah, I can see. We can see it.
Is the right screen up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, hi, my name is Mickey Barraza, and I will give you a short presentation on the plant ID team. You can move on. You can change the slide. You can move on then.
Oh, right. I didn't hear you. My bad.
You're fine. So short intro to the plant ID team is just student and members of the Range Club or anyone who would like to join. And we do our practices at the NMSU herbarium with the specimens. And we learn 200 species ranging from rangeland grasses to flowering plants. Our coaches are two graduate students, Marissa Mancillas and Michael Funk, and our guide being Dr. Sarah Fuentes Soriano. It's a great learning experience for range science majors and wildlife majors or anyone who's genuinely interested. And in the middle, you can see our little team at the SRM conference. On the right, you see us practicing. And then on the left, there's some specimens from the herbarium. You can change the slide. And then this is, we participated in the plant ID competition at the 2022 Society for Range Management Conference. Our president got 22nd overall, and the rest of the team networked with plant ID competitors who had been there before and gave us tips so that we can fully compete next year. And that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Cool. So yeah, that was short about the Range Cub and a short thing about the Plant ID team. So yeah, if you have any, Dr. Fuentes, you had there's the hand.
So if you have questions, go ahead. Let's ask questions.
Mickey, do you know how much time it takes for you to get trained to be in a competitive level? Did you learn that from people in the SRM meeting?
Well, they did say they practice almost every day, 2 to 3 hours a day.
For how long?
Year round, anytime they had available.
Yeah, so it's a very intensive training for you guys. So whoever is part of the Plant Team ID really gets very well versed on plant morphology and names of plants that are commonly found in the rangeland, right? Yeah, so how many teams do you remember participated this year on the competition?
Oh, how many was it? I think there were 130 students total that competed in the Plant ID contest this year out of, and I think 20 teams, 17 teams, something like that.
Cheryl?
Yeah, I have a quick question about how many plants do you try to learn for this competition?
We learned, actually, I have one, let me grab it really quick.
Visual aids, I like that.
So the test is based off of this book. So there are, I think, 200 plants in this book, a little over. And so we learn any one of them can be on the exam. There are 100 in the exam itself, but any of the ones in this book can be on there. Sometimes there's duplicates. Sometimes when we were about to start in this last one, they made very clear, don't touch the specimen because you might accidentally knock off the single defining feature that is on the herbarium specimen. You can't touch them. You have them. There's 100 plants, and you have 1 minute per plant, and then the timer goes off, and you go to the next one. Sometimes they have non-normal specimens. I had a friend that took it quite a while ago, and they had an aspen leaf that was about this big. It had all the identifying features of an aspen leaf, but it was just mutated and very large. There was one this year. I think it was a Artemisia tridentata, big sagebrush. This big, just a very small seedling, but it had the defining features of it, and you had a magnifying glass, and you just had to look down at it. But it's a pretty intensive test.
Sounds like it, yes.
Okay. Say, what I was wondering is that when you're studying these plants for identification, do you use only herbarium dried specimens, or do you go out in the field and identify them out there? And in that case, do live specimens, are they on the test too?
I was gonna say, Mickey, Kelsey, I'll jump in too and answer these if you want. We only study herbarium specimens because that's the only thing they have on the test. You're just in a big room and they have collections from, there's a person that manages the collection. I actually think he lives in Canada because he made a comment about getting the plants across through customs from Canada to the US. But yeah, all herbarium specimens we do when we go out in the field for our hikes and stuff, we'll do plant ID on the live specimens because it definitely is, looking at a herbarium specimen versus live specimen definitely is different. But yeah, we just use live or herbarium specimens. I'm sorry.
I see. Any other questions? Yes, Sarah.
So it's more, it's not a question, it's a comment. I think that one of my dreams since I start training the team, the plant team ID, is to bring students to the field, to actually have fundings to bring them to the field and stay in a field trip all there for a week or weekend. But budget is always an issue. So we are always trying to do minimal things with money. And that's one of the limitations. But yeah, you're right. Having them in the field will be super important. And this year, I think that we have the most number of participants interested in being on the team. So we are building up. Every year we have to recruit the students. And this year we have 4 students interested, and hopefully that will be the seed to bring more students in future competitions, because KLC and Mickey are just in kind of the first semesters of the programs. So they have a couple of years to be trained, whereas Daniel is leaving us. Oh, so that's the problem. Trying to keep a team that is alive is always been a challenge, but I thought that we have a good program now and a very good team members. So hopefully this will just keep growing. Right? The last competition, the largest team have about 13 participants. So they bring people from all over North America, not just USA, but also from Mexico. And that's one of the ways to keep the plant team in a competitive level, just have one number of people that are involved with us. So we're trying to do that, and they are doing a wonderful job, this group, recruiting people now.
Thank you.
Lisa.
Yes, Eileen?
Yeah, I wanted to see the title of that textbook again that they use.
It's called North American Wildland Plants. There we go.
Okay.
This is the 4th edition, 3rd edition, third edition. Hold on, let me see if I can turn off my.
Here, I'll drop it in the chat. I'll drop the title and everything.
Okay, that'd be perfect. I was gonna say I am.
Thank you, Kelsey.
You're welcome.
It's a really good. Just as a book itself is really phenomenal. It doesn't. I mean, it's not an all. Obviously, you know, there's only 200 specimens. It's not all inclusive, but it's a really good book. And I'm not. I didn't. Or I took my plant ID at CSU. Isn't it one of the required texts here for the program? Dr. Fuentes. Okay, that's what I thought. So.
Is that good for you, Elaine? Huh. Good. Any other questions? Comments? Additional information?
Oh, something I completely forgot about. I don't know if y'all use social media at all. I know I tend to try and avoid it when I can, but it seems like that's the way the world's going these days. We have an Instagram and a Facebook page. It's just, I'll put it in the chat, at NMSU range. And we just post kind of like what we're doing, range photos, that kind of thing. If you just kind of want to see what we're doing and what we're up to. Yeah, that'll be, if you just put that on Facebook or Instagram, that'll pop up with our social media stuff. So, yeah.
Sarah?
Yeah, so can you tell us, Daniel, if the Range Club also gets involved with service to the community? Do you participate in programs like that?
We do a lot of community service stuff. Previous stuff we've done, we've helped here on campus with the food bank. They have once a month where they hand out, it's fresh produce and frozen food to the community. We've helped with that in the past. At this previous national event, we volunteered. I think each of the 13 participants that went volunteered 10 hours of time. For that, it's been a little bit harder in the past year to get out and do non-campus community service because of the pandemic and such. But pre-pandemic, and now we're starting to get back into it post-pandemic, we really try to get out in the community and do a lot of community service stuff as well. So yeah, it's definitely something that we do. Absolutely.
With that, I'm going to say a very big thank you to Daniel Burton, to Mickey Barraza. By the way, Mickey, is Mayor of Mesilla related to you, Nora?
No.
Okay. And then finally, Kelsey Graves, and congratulations to Kelsey Graves for being the new president. And we'll be looking forward to doing some work with you all. Okay?
Absolutely. Yes, thank you for having us.
You're welcome.